let's talk about what we just saw happen at the end of the March of Quel'Danas' final cinematic. We saw Sylvanas come through the moor, shoot one of Xal'atath's orbs, talk about it being not one of her lost penances, and walk back into the moor like it was nothing. So we spent an entire expansion around the Shadowlands being told the moor was inescapable, it's a tool, and it's a big prison. And now Sylvanas can walk in and out of it like she's going to do her local shopping. So either something's changed here from a rules perspective, or there was something missing that we were never told. And this is something that's lining up with the patch. The Shadowlands themselves are basically looking wrong. Something isn't quite right, there's too much order, there's too much structure, and there's something definitely off with the whole death cosmology. We can't quite yet put our finger on what it is, but something's happening here. And the cinematic that we just saw at the end of the raid is planting a flag. This next expansion, The Last Titan, is going to be about Azeroth waking up and possibly having to deal with death itself, or trying to work out how we're going to use like the 3 or 4 powers in Azeroth to defeat Xal'atath herself. Be that the Titans, be that death, be that the void, and be that the light itself, as well as possibly some humans and kind of life itself. So let's talk about what was actually said. Penance has only just begun. A couple of words here, and massive playthrough. If Penance is ongoing, she has a huge role that she's going to play across the entirety of the rest of the Worldsoul Saga. She's not coming out of retirement, she's being positioned as a weapon, or maybe an avatar, to kind of take it through and be the death point of view to help us deal with Xal'atath going forward. She has unique knowledge and access to the moor. She has some pretty good knowledge of death, having been lived there and trying to serve out penance, and some interesting motivation to keep paying it off. My bet, she's going to be the Shadowlands answer in The Last Titan. Like I said before, when the void's going to hit by Xal'atath, Sylvanas is going to be how we're going to have to fight back from the death in order to kind of balance out the cosmic world. There's an interesting piece here which I think a lot of people aren't really ready for or talking about. We've got 3 Windrunner sisters: Illyria, who's in the void, Xal'atath, who's death, and Viscera, who's the mortal anchor. And realistically, they're holding the family together. Blizzard's clearly using this family as some way to kind of break down the 3 different elements. I've talked about the Windrunner family before in another video, but it's something to kind of talk about. This seems to be a major theme playing throughout this entire expansion and possibly with The Last Titan. And I think part of this that we need to be looking for is the Windrunners have always been a consistent theme within Warcraft, at least from Warcraft 3 going onwards. Sylvanas was the Ranger General defending from Arthas, got turned into the Banshee Queen, and she's been at the forefront of most of the stuff going on in World of Warcraft since. So let's talk about some of the interesting bits here as well. And I know a lot of people are going to be unhappy in the comments with this change, and with Sylvanas popping up. She's got some undeserved redemption coming up, and she's becoming that kind of player's glory or that unique character who keeps on popping up and being Blizzard's fix-all and end-all. Sylvanas' writing about Azeroth and Shadowlands was pretty bad, and a lot of people never wanted to see her again. She's a different person now, which is interesting, and whether or not you buy it is down to you. But what I say, love or hate it, she's an interesting character which I think is needed for this return. The story needed with a Deathline hero piece on the board is definitely one they're going to put out there, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did something similar with a Fel one, looking at Illidan, possibly. So let's talk about what we saw. We saw Sylvanas come in, used her death powers from the moor to attack Xal'atath and do damage. And that was really the cinematic. Sylvanas is back, the Shadowlands are broken, or never were broken, Blizzard's not quite sure, and neither am I, and Xal'atath's been bodied for now, and the Worldsoul Saga just keeps getting a lot more interesting. If you want to see the full Windrunner family breakdown I did on the channel, you can click here, and we'll be going from there. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what I'm posting. I'll be posting more frequently every single week and carrying on for the entirety of the Midnight expansion. And I will see you in the next one.